Do not allow governments to govern your lives. They are made up of men and women, no different than you and I. Let me repeat that. Do not allow governments to act as your God. They are made up of men and women just like you and I. And they probably have alternative ideas that will enrich them. Do not allow government to take the place of God, because any government will work as long as the people are honest. Communism will work. Socialism will work. Democracies will work. All of these institutions or ideas will work if the people are honest. They will work if the people are godly. God teaches love, compassion. That is the key to life. Love and compassion. If we loved each other, there would be no need for wars. And who creates the need for wars? Evil men. Evil men create the need for wars. And when I say governments create the need for wars, governments, do not let government be your God. What is the first thing that the Bible tells you? What is the first commandment? What is the first covenant? Straight from God. Be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. Think of it like this. To be fruitful and multiply, you need what? You need a seed and fertile ground. The seed comes from the man. The fertile ground comes from a woman. Not your woman, comes from a woman. Seed comes from a man. Fertile ground comes from a woman. And you know this. You know this. Understand this. Would you want to be left alone on an island with two men? Would you want to be alone on an island with two women? Two men will not produce the next generation. Two women will not produce the next generation. Be fruitful and multiply is the first commandment. To be on an island, a group of men to be on an island with no woman, it's like having a basket of oranges, watermelons, with no seeds. With no seeds. Once that box of watermelons is gone, once that box of oranges is gone, you can't feed yourself. You can't plant for the next year, for the next season. You can't survive. But why is it that governments allow corporations to create fruit that has no seed? It is to make you dependent. It is to take your freedom away and make you dependent. And why do they want to make you dependent? So that you serve them. So that you serve them. So they are needed. What does the Bible say about a rich man? What does the Bible say about a rich man? A rich man has as much chance of entering the kingdom of heaven as a camel has of passing through the eye of a needle. And this, what I've just explained, is the main reason why this is the main reason why governments do not work for the people. This is the main reason why you should not allow a government to become your God. The reality of the situation is that when we pay taxes, we should pay taxes to a money manager. A money manager who manages the money for who? Who manages the money for the people. Who manages the money for the people. And that person should be, and that government should be managing the person, for the people. They should be managing not the people, they should be managing the money. But we have governments manage people. They don't manage the money of the people. Because if they manage the money of the people, what would we have? What would we have? We would have national health care, free, based on the management of our tax dollars. We would have national health care based on the management of our dollars. Food would be affordable based on the management of our dollars. We would be paid a living wage. We would be paid a living wage so that when we pay taxes, there will be enough money to manage the necessities of life and money left over so that we can enjoy a quality of life. Don't get caught up in this Republican-Democrat thing. That is two forms of government, and what are they doing? They are pulling us apart. That is two forms of government that are pulling us apart. And the first thing they did it with is racism. They pulled us apart with racism. And they stopped us from working together so they can divide and conquer. Now they're pulling us apart with what? Feminism. To break up the family. They're pulling us apart with feminism to break up the family. They are feeding us food with no seeds to make us dependent on them. How can there be a minimum wage for the people and not a minimum wage for the rich? You see, a minimum wage, there is no minimum wage. There is just slavery. There is no minimum wage. There's slavery. A minimum wage is slavery. Because if a minimum wage is unjust, because it allows the rich to get richer. The rich don't have a minimum wage. The rich don't have a minimum wage. Only the poor and the working class have a minimum wage. Abraham Lincoln said, to paraphrase, he said, workers are more important than rich people. Workers are more important than rich people. But he said it like this. Rich people, understand me, have capital. Working class people have the labor. And what he is saying is that labor is more important than money. Labor is more important than money. You see, if you got a seed, you can get out there and start breaking that ground up. You can use your hand. You can use a stick. You can make a tool to plant seeds that will bear fruit. You can't take a dollar bill and do that. We're more important. Capital is dependent upon labor to exploit the working class people. Capital is dependent upon labor to exploit the working class people. There are laws in some states where you cannot collect rainwater. There are laws in some states where you can't collect your own rainwater to drink. Now you have to go to the store and buy it. Why should we have to buy? 75% of the world is water. Why are we buying water? Why are we buying water when it is so abundant? Shouldn't our tax dollars be used to keep the water clean so that we can just drink out of a stream? We don't have to pollute things. Nowadays, the rich pollute the environment with their actions, and then when they straighten it out, they want a medal for undoing the problem that they caused. We need money managers. We don't need governments that act as if they are God. Why? I'm going to say this. Hebrew Israelites, we have to separate ourselves from Caucasians if this is the silly game they want to play. We have to separate ourselves from Caucasians if this is the silly game they want to play, because they have given their lives away. They are hating us. We created the wheel. We created the internet. We created blood plasma. We created the emergency vehicles that pick people up and take them to the hospital. We invented these things. Black people, we invented these things. We invented the telephone, the light bulb, airplane, cars. All of these things we invented. And this is why they bombed our cities, towns, because we were innovative. And they were not. And slaves were the first working class people in this country. And we were more important than the rich people. Because you could take the slaves, you can get rid of the rich. You can get rid of the rich people, and the slaves will do what? Grow their own food, plant, eat, do everything. But all of a sudden, the slaves were called stupid, while this guy is sitting up, ignorant. But we had the knowledge to plant and grow food, but the slave master didn't. He tricked not us. He tricked Caucasians. He tricked Caucasians. And Caucasians fail to realize that as long as we were slaves, they were going to be poor. They will not make any money. So what did he do? He gave them a slice. He gave them what trickled down, what Ronald Reagan called trickled down. He didn't pay them a living wage based on the importance of their work. He did not pay them a living wage based on the importance of work. They gave them trickle down and then told them, I'm going to have you get what trickles down. And what is it? What does trickle down mean? It means what's left. It means what's left. How can you seduce a person to take what's left as fair compensation for the hard work you do, while this person just, hey, I own the money, so capital. And where does he get this capital from? Gets it from your tax dollars. He gets it from your tax dollars. In essence, when you work, you are giving away your labor to someone who doesn't do any work. You're giving away your labor, because labor does not need capital, because you can get out there and work with your hands. If you got a seed, you can dig a hole and plant that seed with your hands. But like I said, they use racism to pull us apart. Now they're using feminism to destroy our families. And they're trying to glorify it, talking this LBGTQ thing. They're putting us on an island, alone, with no family and with no seeds, and making us dependent upon them. And at the same time, they're saying that the world is overpopulated. But how can a person who owns thousands and thousands of acres of land say the world is overpopulated when he's got all the land fenced in, and the people who do the work, he's not letting them in? That's government. This happens when you allow government to be your God. Government, the rich are using the government to be your God. The rich are using the government to be your God. And you are running around fighting as if it's important as to whether you be a Republican or a Democrat. You are fighting as if being a Democrat or a Republican is the better God. They should be money managers. They should be managing the money in our best interest. They should be managing the money to our best interest, and they are managing our tax dollars to their best interest. Name